sensitive matter. Perry said that American and other NATO forces will provide security for human rights investigators when they start looking for evidence of war crimes and massacres. And there was an announcement today about a new medal to honor U.S. soldiers on duty in Bosnia. In the future, it will go to all who serve in peacekeeping missions. When NBC Nightly News continues in a moment, an earful for voters in Iowa as the Republican presidential candidates take verbal pot shots at one another. And later in focus, a territorial dispute between mankind and mountain lions.
You got 6 minutes to shower, 4 minutes to dry your hair, 1 minute for contacts, 4 minutes to find them, 5 minutes to get dressed, 3 minutes to make yourself beautiful, and 90 seconds to make instant Quaker oatmeal. That's all you need. You'll get the same whole grain oats as regular Quaker oatmeal, just cut finer to cook faster. One taste of that maple and brown sugar and you can handle anything. Like 10 minutes of screaming, 30 minutes of music, 20 minutes of painting. Quaker oatmeal. Oh, what those oats can do.
I'll never go back to denture pastes or powders again.
Here's why. C-Bond denture adhesive. No other adhesive works like C-Bond, and it holds dentures so tight, so long. C-Bond combines two powerful adhesives into a soft micro-thin seal that bonds your dentures to your gums, can hold them comfortably all day long.
I'll never go back to pastes or powders.
There's no messy cleanup. C-Bond is so easy to remove. Nothing holds dentures like C-Bond.
You'll never go back to pastes or powders again.
Why compromise on your laxative? Part of you wants strong, part wants gentle. Get both with Dulcolax. So effective, doctors recommend it most, and it's gentle with comfort coating. Don't compromise. Get strong, get gentle, get Dulcolax.
Attention, persons with an asbestos-related injury. The Celotex Corporation and Kerry Canada, Inc. have filed a plan of reorganization in U.S. bankruptcy court, which establishes a trust to compensate persons who have asbestos bodily injury claims. Claims must be filed no later than March 15, 1996. Claimants with properly filed claims that are estimated by the court will be entitled to vote on the plan and considered for compensation if the court confirms the plan. For further information, call 1-800-353-5233.
Presidential politics tonight, and the candidates chasing the GOP nomination, they had been training their attacks on frontrunner Bob Dole. Today, that changed. NBC's Gwen Eiffel reports now from Iowa.
Bob Dole is supposed to be the frontrunner in the race for the Republican presidential nomination. But as Iowa voters watched on television today, the real target was free-spending millionaire candidate Steve Forbes.
The Forbes tax plan is a truly nutty idea. And I'm sorry, Steve, but 3 times you wrote that it was a good thing we defeated the balanced budget.
My flat tax is a middle-class tax cut. Yours looks like one that was worked up by the boys at the yacht basin.
Forbes took refuge in his status as a Washington outsider.
The people you see tonight who've been in Congress and the Senate talk about tax cuts, but when you're not looking, they've been raising your taxes.
Forbes found himself in the bullseye after spending more than $12 million from his own pocket on campaign advertising, an expenditure that has shot him into second place in Iowa and New Hampshire.
I knew that they were going to attack me, and so I was not disappointed.
But because of Dole's big first-place lead in the polls, second place is a good place to be. Dole concentrated at the debate and at a pre-debate rally on campaigning against President Clinton.
Don't promise something you can't deliver, then keep your word after you make that promise, and that'll be something new in America when you look at Bill Clinton.
Dole wanted to leave here today with his lead intact, his strategy to encourage his distant challengers to squabble among themselves. Mission accomplished. Gwen Eiffel, NBC News, Des Moines.
Now to the squabble between Republican senators and First Lady Hilary Clinton. Mrs. Clinton said today she will not appear voluntarily before the Senate Whitewater Committee. Mrs. Clinton told the Los Angeles Times that while some of her recollections about the Arkansas land deal have been faulty, Republicans on the committee are conducting what she called an investigation in search of a scandal. When NBC Nightly News continues, a question for voters in California. Should open season be declared on mountain lions?
Introducing the $16,000 BMW. Presenting the $16,000 Lexus. Behold, the $16,000 Mercedes. To everyone who thought it was impossible to build an affordably priced luxury car, we have just one thing to say. Take a seat. The Nissan Altima. Now own an Altima for 0 down, 0 APR financing and no payments until April.
We all work so hard today. That's why I treat myself to Irish cream, amaretto, and Swiss chocolate Coffee Mate. So many treats, so little time. Flavored Coffee Mate. Your coffee never had it so good.
Meg, look at this. Oatmeal Crisp has undergone a prodigious metamorphosis.
He means they've improved it.
It's now a veritable cornucopia of ambrosia.
It's crispier with a better oatmeal taste.
Bingo!
Bingo.
Introducing the big new taste of Oatmeal Crisp. Oatmeal never sounded so good.
At the Carnival of Venice, tradition requires the food be worthy of the celebration. Presenting the Olive Garden's new lasagna and chicken Alfredo, just $8.95. A combination of the best of Venice. Our 4-cheese lasagna, layers of luscious Italian cheeses, together with tender Venetian grilled chicken on a bed of fettuccine Alfredo. And while the wine flows, enjoy limitless free soup or salad and breadsticks. Celebrate our new lasagna and chicken Alfredo, just $8.95. Only at the Olive Garden during the Carnival of Venice.
Dateline, Tuesday. While O.J. is selling his story, the jurors you haven't heard from yet are speaking out for the first time. Dateline NBC, Tuesday.
In focus this evening, ending the protection of a protected species. This spring, California voters will decide whether to lift a quarter-century-old ban on hunting mountain lions. NBC's George Lewis reports.
The experts say there are now about 6,000 mountain lions in California, way too many for some people. Proponents of a measure to end the protection of the lions say there have been a growing number of incidents in which the animals have gone after humans in populated areas. In 1994, 56-year-old Iris Kenna was killed by a mountain lion as she hiked in a state park. Earlier that year, 40-year-old Barbara Schoner was killed while jogging in another state park near Sacramento.
I think once these lions attack a human, get to that point where they attack and they kill a human, they find out how easy it is. It's probably the easiest kill this lion has ever made.
The problem, according to experts, is that California's sprawling urban areas have begun to encroach on the lion's natural habitat. And because they're protected, there are more lions these days. Ranchers have had to put up with them for some time. Don Salachi has a spread near Gilroy in Northern California.
Every year there's more reported incidences, more cattle killed, more sheep killed, and I think it's just an ongoing thing. It's just doubling every year.
Salachi also says he's worried about his grandchildren who have to be watched whenever they play outside. Now the state legislature is asking voters to decide whether the protected status of the mountain lion should be taken away. The initiative, known as Proposition 197, will be on the ballot in the March primary election. The measure's author is State Senator Tim Leslie.
We have a serious public safety problem in California, and we had better be smart enough to be able to figure out what to do with it.
The measure is opposed by environmental and conservation groups who say the proponents have a hidden agenda.
They don't want to tell the voters that this repeals the ban on trophy hunting mountain lions. They simply want to call it management. Well, it's more than management. It's to once again start the process of allowing us to shoot lions simply for fun, for trophies we stick on a wall.
Prop 197 is not a hunting issue. It allows the Department of Fish and Game to study the population of mountain lions, create a management plan, and then adopt it.
A population of beautiful but dangerous animals. Now the voters will have to decide whether humans will be permitted to prey on them once again in the name of public safety. George Lewis, NBC News, Los Angeles.
When we come back, the messy meltdown in the East Coast blizzard belt.
He was so excited. He kept saying, "Can you see him? Can you see him?"
I didn't know hearing aids had gotten this tiny. Beltone's Invisa hides inside my ear.
Married 37 years, and now he hides things from me.
I'm hearing so many things I missed before. Invisa's incredible.
Invisa is as small around as a soft contact lens. So visit Beltone today. Get a free hearing test and save $200 on Invisa now.
He hears great, and he's as good-looking as ever.
Beltone's Invisa. You've got to go see it to believe it.
Every year, people have trouble keeping their resolutions to eat better. Now there's help. Whole grain total with 100% of 11 of the many vitamins and minerals you need. Call 1-800-FREE-BOX for a sample to help make this year a healthy and happy one.
I just wasn't satisfied with the way my headache medicine was working. And then my doctor told me about a medicine called Arutis.
Of all the prescription pain medicines, 82% of doctors surveyed have prescribed Arutis. And now it's available in a non-prescription strength. Potent new Arutis KT. Just 25 milligrams is as effective as 400 milligrams of Motrin IB, 440 of Aleve, or 1,000 milligrams of extra-strength Tylenol.
Now I've got Arutis KT.
New Arutis KT, the potent medicine for pain.
Why compromise on your laxative? On the one hand, you want strong, but on the other hand, you want gentle. Get both with Docalax. So effective, doctors recommend it most, and it's gentle with comfort coating. Get strong, get gentle, get Docalax.
At PrimeStar, we think everybody should be able to enjoy mini-dish satellite television. At the same time, we believe that nobody should have to pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars to buy a dish. So with PrimeStar, there's no equipment to buy. Our dish comes with the service, along with 95 channels, digital picture, digital sound. And it all starts at about $1 a day. PrimeStar, satellite television everyone can enjoy. Call 1-800-PRIME-STAR.
To the effects now of this week's deadly winter storm that buried so much of the East Coast. The meltdown has begun, and it's creating more headaches. NBC's John Palmer reports.
Federal snow removal equipment came to the rescue today as the capital struggled to clear roadways of up to 2 feet of snow. The National Park Service lent the city 50 plows, and private contractors supplied trucks to cart the snow away. Still, roads remain dangerous. The driver of this minivan escaped unhurt after the vehicle spun out of control and dangled over the Potomac.
Biggest frustration is just, how long it's taken to plow the streets and being able to get out of the neighborhood.
Snowbound cars continue to clog many Washington side streets, and taking the bus is not always a more attractive alternative. Thanks to Monday's Martin Luther King holiday, the Washington area has 2 more days of snow removal before people go back to work. The cleanup will also take at least that long for other cities in the Northeast as well. In Philadelphia, snow then rain caused flooding. Boston, buried under 30 inches of snow, had an especially difficult time. In Teaneck, New Jersey, a section of the Armory collapsed. Homeowners were also concerned about the weight of the snow.
I mean, the leaky roof we dealt with. We have pots and pans all over the inside of the house. But, that's just an annoyance. It was the safety that we were concerned about. It.
And some tried cyberspace as a cure for cabin fever.
I don't know what the hell to do here. Would you believe it?
The good news, forecasters say daytime temperatures will remain above freezing along the eastern seaboard for the next several days, and no snow is forecast. John Palmer, NBC News, Washington.
The political storm in Washington will be the topic tomorrow on NBC's Meet the Press. House Budget Committee Chairman John Kasich and House Minority Leader Richard Gephardt will be Tim Russert's guests. When NBC Nightly News continues in a moment, Brian Williams in Bosnia on the climate of hate between Muslims and Serbs.
Oh, I see you're drinking Carnation Instant Breakfast.
Well, that's what you call it. I call it a chocolate milkshake.
Yeah, but you are getting all the nutrition you need in the morning.
I get a breakfast that tastes great.
You get a low-fat breakfast with 19 vitamins and minerals.
I get creamy milk chocolate. I get cafe mocha. I get...
Right, but see, we're trying to tell people how nutritious Carnation Instant Breakfast is. It has no preservatives or artificial flavors.
Maybe that's why it tastes so good?
Yeah.
How many lotions have you tried?
About 1 million lotions.
Until I tried Jergens Ultra Healing Lotion.
Why Jergens?
It works with your skin, not just on it.
It works with your skin?
It penetrates to heal dry skin from within.
And it helps my skin seem to retain its own natural moisture.
This is great lotion.
I love the way it makes my skin feel.
It's silky, it's smooth, like cashmere.
So who's good to your skin?
Jergens, Jergens, Jergens.
Feel this.
Ultra Healing Lotion. Another beautiful idea from today's Jergens.
Which one of these laxatives is gentle on your system? Now, which one offers you 3 different strengths? And which one guarantees overnight relief? Easy choice. Today's X-Lax pills.
Here's your drink. You're in a restaurant. This is your choice. This? 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 Bum, bum, as sweet as this, no bitterness like this with saccharin, and good.
Equal. 0 calories, 0 saccharin.
It's not going to change your life, but it's going to make it a little sweeter.
Sunday on Today, The Budget. Whitewater will go inside Washington for you, plus Kathy Ireland on her new TV movie, and David Copperfield conjures up a book. See what a difference today makes, Sunday.
For a time in this conflict, the prize for the Serbs was the city of Sarajevo. They killed 10,000 people trying to get it. They cut off the gas, the electricity, and the water trying to capture the city. What happened in Dayton, the peace agreement, means the Serbs will not now get Sarajevo, but we are still left with the question in this region, will Muslims and Serbs ever be able to live together? We took a look at the situation on the ground.
Sarajevo, a city where NATO troops use armor, barricades, and barbed wire, all in an attempt to keep the peace together. Daily life is a daily struggle for people like Meda Suhovic. She survives on a widow's pension, the equivalent of $4 a month, and a daily handout of soup and bread from the Red Cross.
I feel dead inside.
For Suhovic, the war is not over. 3 years ago, her husband, a Muslim, was killed in front of her as Serbs forced them from their home. She now lives with her 7 children in one room. Her 19-year-old daughter, Mersada, fled with only the clothes on her back and one photograph to remind her of the normal childhood that war took away.
I don't know who is to blame for it. I don't know hatred, but it still exists today.
Still, Mersada wants to go home.
I would go back to my house, set up a tent in the rubble if I had to.
But her mother won't go if it means living among Serbs because of the hatred she still feels after her husband's murder.
Whoever has lost someone, they cannot forget, ever. Whoever was turned out of their homes, they cannot forget. I can only go back to a piece of blank, burnt soil.
Snow now covers that burnt black soil. Not much is left of the Suhovic family's old neighborhood. It was blown apart in fierce house-to-house fighting between Serbs and Muslims. The family's apartment house was gutted. But in the ruins, a Serb built a new life. Dravka Tomic was forced from her home 20 miles away by Muslims. She arrived with nothing about 3 years ago and made a new home in the rubble of a house abandoned by a Muslim family. But she says she won't stay here if Muslims start moving back into the neighborhood.
I'm angry, upset, nervous, and humiliated. This is our land. This is our place. We were born here. Let me live here and let me die here, in my own home. We are not asking for anything that does not belong to us.
Her 19-year-old son lost what was left of his childhood innocence when he joined the Bosnia Serb army.
The war that is going on, it has devastated our minds. We have no chance of living together.
I can't stop hating them after all this death and torture.
In a part of the world where hatred has been part of the landscape for generations, they will tell you war is not the same thing as peace.
Flying here aboard Air Force One, one senior American diplomat said after 4 years of war in this region, then after a peace settlement reached in the state of Ohio back in the States, there's nothing natural about the way this region is now carved up. But he said this has to work. That may very well define the U.S. mission here. That is Nightly News for this Saturday. Elizabeth Vargas will be back with you again tomorrow night. My thanks to her in New York. Reporting tonight from Tuzla, I'm Brian Williams. Good night.
NBC News, now more than ever.